Welcome to today's episode of Football Scientific with me, Aaron Sauter, writer for Last Word on Sports. I cover the Buffalo Bills of the NFL. Also, I'm a writer for CFLNewsHub.com. I cover the Hamilton Tiger-Cats of the CFL tonight as we're preparing to watch NFL football for the first time this season in the regular season. Week 1 games start tonight with the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles playing. We have picked the Eagles to win that game, mental note. I wanted to go through some odds and ends with the NFL and also go through our CFL predictions and get our betting guide out there so we can start making some predictions for Friday night's game. They start playing tomorrow. 3 games are on Saturday. Along the way, there's also some Friday college football games that I find compelling. We're going to talk about those and get some predictions out there for that too. But today, we're just kind of wrapping up some loose ends before we watch the Cowboys and the Eagles play. And along the way, I'll be writing some Hamilton Tiger-Cats articles too, and some Buffalo Bills versus Baltimore Ravens pregame article. So that's all coming up. It's been a busy set of football days. Then we have a game tomorrow, dude. So it's pretty crazy. I'm joined by my guest host, Tyler the Tiger. Tyler the Tiger here, fired up, ready to go. Ready to check out this football stuff and see what we're about to hit up, you know. Go Eagles, I guess. Ew. I hate saying that. Go Eagles, I guess. All right, let's go through the news then real quick here. So, first in the NFL, San Francisco 49ers, they have come to an agreement with wide receiver Jauan Jennings. They've been going back and forth. He's had a calf injury. It's been back and forth. But they finally decided to come to an agreement with him. First, he turned down a multi-year deal. They offered a multi-year deal. He turned it down because he's betting on himself. He thinks he's going to have a big year, which is good news for the 49ers. Come out and have a big year and then get paid the next year. That's the right way to do this thing. But instead, they didn't leave him empty-handed. They did rearrange his current agreement, his current deal. They added $3 million in incentives for him. So right now his base pay is $7.5 million. But if he hits the incentives, which I really like that kind of contract. I like where you hit the numbers and you get more money. He could be up to $10.5 million. Last year he had 77 catches, 975 yards. 6 touchdowns, and that was a career year for him. So if he can have another career year, he can probably get paid big time next year. Okay. New York Jets offensive guard update for him. Alajay Vera Tucker, boom, had to get tricep surgery. He's done for the year. Okay. Denver Broncos linebacker Nik Bonitto. He signed a 4-year extension with the Broncos before they play his first week games for up to $120 million. Guarantees $70 million. So, I mean, that's good for him. He's got some job security. He's now the highest paid non-quarterback in Denver Broncos history. University of Wyoming, he's going to celebrate Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. They're going to retire his number 17 jersey on November 22nd, and he's going to go to that game and get his and be there for his jersey being retired by the Wyoming Cowboys. Detroit Lions quarterback C.J. Beathard has signed with the Lions practice squad. Buffalo Bills have signed veteran kicker Matt Prater to their practice squad. He's getting some depth there at kicker. Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line Cam Hayward is back after he re-signed a running back and gave the guy him some money. Cam Hayward's back to not wanting to practice because he did not have a contract worked out. He's back and forth. He's his own worst agent, man. Green Bay Packers signed punter Daniel Whelan to a contract extension, so their punter's locked up with the Green Bay Packers. Philadelphia Eagles, they have activated safety Marcus Epps and outside linebacker Patrick Johnson for tonight's game with the Cowboys. I do predict they'll win that game. I'm not swayed by that signing either. I mean, I already thought they were going to win the game, honestly. Houston Texans wide receiver Christian Kirk. He went through, he's being sidelined with a hamstring injury. It looks like a 2-week injury. He's definitely going to be out the first week. So, I mean, if you're counting on Christian Kirk for your fantasy team, he's going to be out week 1. And they say it's a 2-week injury, so he's probably be out at least 2 weeks. Hamstrings have a tendency to linger as well and keep getting pulled. So he might be out longer than that. Speaking of hamstrings, Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, who commonly has hamstring injuries, which is the joke there, plans to be available in week 1. Unless he pulls his hamstring again. I mean, it happens all the time. Literally all the time. And the IFL, Northern Arizona Wranglers have re-signed running back Nolan Cecil. They have re-signed wide receiver Kobe Smith. They have re-signed wide receiver Marlon Cook Jr. They're a pretty active team. I guess they're trying to, right the wrongs that went on last year. In the CFL, we had a bunch of roster moves before they start playing games tomorrow. That's normal in CFL. Montreal Alouettes moved to the practice roster American DB Don Callis. They moved to the practice roster national linebacker Riley McLeod. They added from the practice roster national defensive lineman Felipe Lemieux Carter. He's always being moved every time. They moved to the practice roster national wide receiver Hakeem Harris. Boom. Montreal Alouettes added from the practice roster American offensive line Des Holmes. Edmonton Elks, they moved to the practice roster national offensive lineman Jackson Morgan, and they moved to the practice roster American offensive lineman Mark Evans II. They moved to the practice roster national offensive lineman Philip Graham. Edmonton Elks also signed American defensive lineman Jordan Williams. They signed national offensive lineman Carter O'Donnell. They moved to the Siscap injured list American defensive lineman Jake Seresta. They moved to the Siscap injured list American linebacker Niles Morgan. BC Lions moved to the practice roster American offensive line Ilm Monray. They added to the single game injury list American DB Jalen Edwards Cooper. They moved to the Siscap injured list, long-term injured list, the national defensive line Christian Covington. They moved to the practice roster national defensive lineman Anthony Bennett. They moved to the single game injured list national linebacker Adam Auclair. They're making a lot of moves. They're having to shift. You're getting beat up. Everyone's getting beat up this time here in the CFL. It's a battle of attrition. BC's been hit hard though. They moved to the single injured list American defensive lineman Dwayne. What was his name? He played for the Tiger Cats. What is his name? Dwayne. Oh, alright, it doesn't matter. They added to the single, he's a defensive tackle. He played for Toronto. Hendricks. Dwayne Hendricks. Thank you, Tyler, for reminding me. Yes. So they moved to the single injured list American defensive lineman Dwayne Hendricks. They added to the six-game injured list national offensive lineman Michael Contreras. They added from the single-game injured list, so they added someone from that list, American defensive lineman Marcus Moore. Okay? All right. Ottawa Red Blacks, they moved to the single-game injured list national defensive lineman Daniel Apoko. They moved to the six-game injured list national offensive lineman Darius Bladick. They moved to the single injured list American wide receiver Devontae Deadman. I guess he's a dead man. Deadman. They added to the single injured list American wide receiver Braylon Addison. They added to the added from the single injured list American linebacker Robert Priester. They moved to the six-game injured list national defensive line Cleon Larry. BC Lions. Already got those. Ottawa Red Blacks continued. They add to the single injured list American linebacker Davion Taylor. They moved from the single injured list national DB Charlie Ringland. They add from the practice roster national DB Eric Cumberbatch. They add from the single injury list national offensive lineman Samuel Carson. They add from the single injury list Lucas Conway. Okay. As mentioned, Hamilton Tiger made some moves. I'll bring an article on this here once we get the video done and loaded. Hamilton Tiger needed some wide receiver help and kick returner help because Lawrence Woods III is hurt. It seems indefinitely. They have signed American wide receiver, kick returner Phillip Brooks back to the roster. They signed him in February. He went to training camp. He got cut. He went to the BC Lions for a minute. And now he's back at the Hamilton Tiger Cats, not Toronto Argonauts. Definitely Hamilton Tiger Cats. They moved to the practice roster national linebacker Daniel Kwemu. And they released American running back Trayshawn Ward. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers moved to the practice roster national wide receiver Gavin Cobb. So then all those moves lead us to Week 14 of CFL, our betting guide. So this is our CFL Week 14 betting guide right here. First game Friday, September 5th. That's tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. We got the BC Lions, who are 5-6, traveling to Ottawa Red Blacks. Right now, BC will be a crossover team to the east. But if they lose this game, they're slowly letting Toronto and Ottawa back into the playoff picture to take back their spot as third in the East Division. So, it's kind of a big game for BC. If they can beat Ottawa, they put themselves at 6-6, and they are in firm control of that crossover spot. If they lose Ottawa, Ottawa's 4-8, Toronto's 4-8, they're 5-7, and now they've put Toronto and Ottawa in the perfect spot to overtake them in the East and take that playoff spot, okay? So, how do I have this game breaking down? Well, BC, quarterback is awesome. Running game is pretty good. Defense is atrocious. I have BC going on the road and beating the Ottawa Red Blacks 28-25. Boom. 53 total points if you score. DraftKings agrees with me partially. They got the BC Lions 6.5-point favorites. Ottawa Red Blacks 6.5-point underdogs and over-under at 54.5. I say it goes under, and I'm picking I'm picking BC Lions to win. But if I was going to bet on this game, my betting guide says take Ottawa Red Blacks in the points. I think it's going to be a close game. Saturday, September 6th, 1 p.m., we got the Hamilton Tirecats at Montreal Alouettes. I'm going to be writing a pregame article about this in the near future. I have the Tirecats coming out. Montreal's on their fourth-string quarterback. Hamilton, if you're going to beat someone, it has to be Montreal right now, okay? If you can't beat Montreal, you put them back into the running for first place. Hamilton had some distance on Montreal, but now if they lose to Montreal, they're tied for first place. And they're losing grip of their playoff hopes, okay? And they're letting teams surge from behind them. That's all bad news. Montreal's on their fourth-string quarterback, guys. Come out, play some defense, get some turnovers, win the game, and go 7-5. That's what I predict will happen. Hamilton Tirecats will win in Montreal, 30-23, 53 total points scored. DraftKings agrees with me. They got Hamilton Tirecats at 3-point favorites, and Montreal has 3-point underdogs. They get the over-under at 52.5, which is just barely over. I would go over, and I would say Hamilton with the points. I think they beat Montreal by more than 3. And that's the most money, too. So, I mean, that's if you're going to bet, might as well go for it, y'all. I would not recommend doing that. Saturday, September 6th, 4 p.m. Eastern, we got Saskatchewan Roughriders going back up against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a rematch from last week, the Banjo Bowl. Saskatchewan's on the road now. It's going to make a slight difference, I think. But I think Saskatchewan's still the better team here, okay? They ended up being closer than Winnipeg or Saskatchewan expected, but I expected that to be a close game. I said 33-30. Now I'm saying Saskatchewan to come in. Winnipeg's going to play a little better, but not a lot better. I got Saskatchewan win this game 31-30. A crazy close game. 61 total points scored. It'll be a crazy game, guys. Should be super entertaining. DraftKings does not agree with me. Boo DraftKings. They got Winnipeg win this game by 1.5 points. They're a 1.5-point favorite. Saskatchewan Roughriders are 1.5-point underdog. The over-under is 51.5. I say it goes over. I'm taking Saskatchewan plus the points, but really I'm taking Saskatchewan for the money line. It's pretty nice you can pick a good team like Saskatchewan and have them be an underdog. That's the way to get paid. Saturday, September 6th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we got the Calgary Stampeders, who are 8-3, traveling to the Edmonton Elks, who they played last week and beat the Edmonton Elks 28-7. This week they're in Edmonton, which should be a little bit more difficult for the Calgary Stampeders and Edmonton to see what they can do. I have Calgary going into Edmonton and beating the Elks 27-23, 50 total points being scored. DraftKings has the Stampeders as a 6-point favorite, and Edmonton's as a 6-point underdog, and they get the over-under at 50.5, so I would go under just barely. And if I was going to gamble on this, which I'm not, I would take Calgary Stampeders and the money line. They're going to win that game, y'all. Okay, and then finally, Friday night, we don't have any college football games tonight because the NFL's starting, but tomorrow night, there are 2 games. First, the earlier game, we have the James Madison Dukes traveling to the Louisville Cardinals. They're both 1-0. Should be a big-time game, okay? James Madison is very good, and they're playing a Power 4 team. You've upset Louisville. You've done something, okay? What I think is going to happen here, I think Jeff Brom and his crew, Louisville Cardinals, are going to fight hard. They're going to win this game at home 34-21. Total points will be 55. DraftKings says I'm partially right. Well, actually, it's really close. So DraftKings says Louisville's a 13.5-point favorite, so they got me by a half point. And they got the James Madison team as a 13.5-point underdog, and they get the over under 56.5. I would go slightly under, and I'm going money line Louisville Cardinals. I think they win that game. Also, a little later tomorrow night, we got Northern Illinois Huskies traveling to the Maryland Terrapins. Now, last week, Northern Illinois, no, they didn't play Purdue. Ball State did. Ball State got crushed by Purdue. No worries about that. Northern Illinois goes to Maryland. They upset Notre Dame last year. Are they better or worse? I say they're worse. I say they didn't get any better this season. Northern Illinois is going to come run the ball, though. They're going to play some defense. They're going to give up some plays. They're going to make some plays. It's back and forth. They're going to grind it out. Maryland, they're going to come in. They're a more explosive offense, but they're sloppy. They'll turn the ball over, but I think they'll overcome it. I have Maryland win this game 32-15. 47 total points being scored. DraftKings agrees with me. I have them winning by 17 points. DraftKings has Maryland winning by 17.5 points. I would take them on the money line. I would not take Northern Illinois on the 17.5 points. I think it's not going to be that close. I think Maryland wins this game 32-15, 47 total points. I would bet on the Maryland Terrapins at 17.5 points. I would take the money line, though. And then I would take the, I can't take it over. They have 47 points to say over and under. I have 47 points. I wouldn't do anything with that. So that is the news for pro football. NFL starts tonight. We got Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles fighting it out. I got Eagles in that game. Check out my short. And that is CFL News Sub. CFL News Sub is what I write for. That's why we hit that CFL News. Those games start tomorrow night. Last word on sports, I cover the Buffalo Bills. Check out my pregame article coming up in the near future. And also check out my Hamilton Ticats pregame article for this weekend when they play Montreal. And then remember they signed Phillip Brooks. I'll be writing an article about that tonight after the video loads. So that is the plan. Football Scientific, make sure you like it. Boop, they have new subscribers. We got 8 new subscribers this last week. We're pushing for 1 billion. If we get 1 billion subscribers, we get everyone a piece of pizza, y'all, from Little Caesars. So that should be a pretty good deal. Keep subscribing. Get your friends to subscribe. Get everyone to subscribe. We'll blow this thing up. Remember, we are a real show. We are not AI. We're not pretend. We're not all this stuff. We're scripted, but not that scripted, okay? We're not ESPN. We're not pushing our woke agenda on you because we don't have a woke agenda, okay? We're just here talking about football. And that is today's show. The Football Scientific Portal is now closed. Bye-bye.